It's filthy. Like, it's disgusting.
Saras has been spamming Gangplank mid. Just the respect this guy demands.
Who is this guy, Rusty?
I love Saras,
Well,
man. Zillion and Gangplank. It's like
he's
a
actually,
pirate clock
he's
in the
actually
mid lane.
Rusty. Is at least
That's
also
actually Peter Pan, isn't it? You know, like TikTok, and then you've got a pirate. It's amazing.
well, at least Ban from Detonation.
He also plays
FocusMe.
Renekton.
Yeah, he must play Renekton.
Bangkok Titans going to go with Shen Kalista on top of that pirate. And we'll see what the Japanese side going to pick up for their first pick.
Yeah, lots of picks left available, though. I mean, I guess the Kalista, basically one of the only standard bans that you really see here. Of course, Elise still very, very strong on this patch, but it's interesting to see the likes of Annie, Twisted Fate banned away here from the Bangkok Titans, and it's just taking away some of that engage potential from these players. But the Thresh is definitely a gaping hole in the draft that Bangkok Titans really want to be able to pick up there for Moss.
I guarantee the second rotation is going to be Gragas Thresh.
I have a feeling that might happen.
I'm a little bit curious why they decided to ban Elise, particularly against 7. Not that he can't play it,
Whoa.
just because it doesn't fit necessarily into kind of his MO and what we've seen competitively from him, as far as in this tournament.
Well, it is going to be the Rise first pick here for Udapon, as Warlock and 007X haven't actually insta-locked the Thresh Gragas just yet. We'll see how long it takes them to realize that those two champions are in fact left
They're
up.
trying to trick us. I mean, look, that could also be a mid lane Rise as well. Saras'
That's
champion
true.
pool apparently extends.
No, apparently
to
it
Zillion
could be an AD
Gangplank.
carry Rise. I don't even know. I'm not going to make any assumptions. Detonation FocusMe. I just have a feeling they could do anything. Somehow make it work, at least in the early game.
I mean, it also should be noted that G4 is also very well known for pulling out unorthodox picks, if you will. He's played the Jarvan and the Aurelia mid. So, you know what? I'm excited. I hope it's just nuts.
I'm excited
Like
too.
you said, G4 really just likes to kill people, and those are the sort of picks that can do it. Really surprised I haven't at least snapped off Thresh. I can understand wanting to change your jungler, but taking this long to secure your picks means they might have something different. It is going to be Rek'Sai taken away from Astaroray, and Alistar is the selection.
Okay.
Yeah, so support and jungle still locked in.
Yeah, this is actually really important, though.
True.
So Astaroray, he started playing... So he was originally the jungler for them last year, but he didn't actually get back onto the roster. They started this split with a different jungler, then Rokinia actually took over, and Astaroray didn't come back until the semifinals of the LJL. And his most played champion since getting back onto the roster is actually Rek'Sai. But when I say most played champion, I mean like 6 games.
Yeah.
But still, pretty significant denial pick.
Yeah, that's certainly a lot of games still.
He's like, eh.
Well,
Pastries.
we need to talk about
No,
it
it
in
is.
percentages, I think, when it comes to the Detonation FocusMe lineup, if you really want to drill home that particular situation. But the bottom lane being hovered over here from Detonation FocusMe, the Lulu, of course, uncontested just yet, might mean that Warlock is going to be back on Lulu duty this game to deny the pick away. Shall see entirely what happens here, because I actually really love both Lulu Kog'Maw and Lulu Rise.
I was just about to say that Lulu synergizes so well, not only with Kog'Maw but Rise, because of the augment of the movement speed to help Rise make that gap close with his 600 range snare. Why wouldn't you've already seen the Alistar? He's not going to pick up Braum. They're not running Ali top or mid. Why not just guarantee the Lulu unless you want the Bangkok Titans to take it away?
Probably not committed to Lulu would be my guess. Like,
yeah, that has to
they
be
want
the
a
assumption.
Yasuo.
So
that's what they want.
What is with you and anytime they see a Braum, all the OPL guys are like, he just wants Yasuo.
I like
the double wall.
Yes, it's really good against Kog'Maw.
Man.
As we'll bring it back. 10 seconds left for the Bangkok Titans. Might be mixing it up again. This is
double equalizer.
Bangkok Titans were really known for
the
last international wildcard, which was just like mixing it up, especially once they started getting later into the tournament. And it is double equalizer, as Atlas coined it, Rumble Corki.
Okay, when they say double equalizer, just for everyone at home, it's the Valkyrie and the actual equalizer.
Yeah.
Corki's not going to kill someone with ease.
Hey, you take that back.
Is it his W or is it his E?
AP Corki mid does ridiculous Valkyrie damage.
I play Corki. That's the unfortunate thing.
Well, Detonation FocusMe now considering their final 2 picks here to round out their lineup, looking for potentially a mid laner or a top laner and a jungler at this point. Maybe even any other role, because I'm not entirely sure. I mean, that could be a Kog'Maw heading into the mid lane if they would like it to. Jungle Braum, not entirely sure how that works, but probably not great.
Outside of random solo queue games, probably not all that good. So 15 seconds now for the Detonation FocusMe. They've clearly put something together here, but like I said, it felt like they were hiding a pick if they're going to pick Braum, because you only ever do that to mask a pick that you want, because you're taking a role that, like you said, you already know you're going to get with support. So it is going to be Gragas. That's a pretty late takeaway as their jungler, but there's Ahri as well for Seros.
Seros, big Ahri player. Again, just going back to kind of the staple bans against this team, it's Azir, Ahri, and Zilean. So anytime you see those 3 champions, Seros knows how to perform.
Wow, Azir slipped through the draft as well.
He's
what the
not
heck?
been played a single time today. That was my other question, because we have all these Azir players, and it's banned away from the Dark Passage mid laner almost all the time because of how good Naru is on it. But apart from that, all the other Azir players just aren't playing it.
That's so strange. I would have thought that someone would have picked up that champion by now, but not going to be taken this time, and it is going to be the Ahri instead. We'll see what G4 wants to take into it. Of course, most Ahri matchups, generally a skill matchup.
Oh, we'll see what he wants to take.
You know who's a really famous pickup for G4?
Zed.
Yeah.
And they've got the Rumble there for the mixed damage in the top lane.
And he's also played this matchup very recently.
Oh my goodness, do it. Do it.
Give it to me, G4.
Could still be Rumble mid too, which would be great.
No.
Either would be awesome.
But yeah, like you
Lights
mentioned,
and
a big pick here for G4. It is going to be the last pick Aurelia, and that has to be for mid lane.
And I love that you mentioned this already, the fact that, you know, he's played Aurelia mid, he's played Jarvan mid, and he's going to play Aurelia mid this game as well.
This guy's nuts.
We are in for something here, ladies and gentlemen, of course. Going back to sort of, you might even play it in an assassin manner, you know, doing the split push thing on Aurelia instead of the Diana this time around, just because they needed some more physical damage.
And the nice thing about Aurelia into Ahri in particular is Aurelia isn't as punished by Ahri's mobility as other 1v1 matchups are. The fact that she's so sticky that the Spirit Rush, especially since there's a delay in the cast, if she has the Blade Surge available, she's following you for at least another burst rotation through her true damage.
You're also not as punished by Charm because of your passive, so there's lots of cool stuff that goes on there. Aurelia's just a really resilient champion. It's hard to play her in a short lane. You really have to understand the dynamics of the wave, but if you set that all up right, you can just get straight up aggressive. We've seen lots of different players take this pick into the mid lane. It's really cool. I'm curious to see G4 pull it out. It's not quite the Jarvan, unfortunately, but it'll have to do.
No, I actually quite like the Aurelia even more. So I'm more than okay with it. Rumble versus Ryze in the top lane. Another interesting matchup that we haven't seen for quite some time. Of course, Ryze falling out of favor just a little bit, but of course the buff to all of the sort of AP items has kept him relatively strong. We have seen Ryze is performing quite well.
I know, but you just said the buff to all the AP items when he's going into a Rumble, whose build
he
over
wasn't
pretty much
nerfed at all, was he?
Any champion got such a massive buff to it.
Yeah, he likes to build the old Abyssal Scepter at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm that Rumble, I'm grabbing an Abyssal and then just going triple penetration. So you've got the Abyssal, and then you go into your Haunting Guys, pick up your Source Boots. Bye-bye, Ryze.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But we are going to have an opening of a pause onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to be getting this game underway just yet. But let's bring up the bottom lane, because, man, that is some aggression down there. Alistair Corki, one of my all-time favorite lanes to watch, just because there's so many buttons being pressed. And then you've got Corki Braum with the fact that you can always be proccing that passive and really getting things going. So as far as a 2v2 is concerned, going at each other, definitely exciting to watch. And I'll see
I'm going to turn to our
happen.
bottom lane specialist here for this one. But I'm going to preface this with, I feel like it's not that good for Corki Alistair. Because I feel like Braum is so good against Corki.
What? Hello? Braum's really good at level 1, but his levels 2 through his 5 are pretty much atrocious. It's really important to It's pretty much atrocious. It's really important to get control of the wave as Corki and Kog'Maw. So Kog'Maw, anytime he's on his W, he's going to be trading with that cooldown just because it has no mana cost, and it's the one time that he's really going to be able to outrange Corki. But Lloyd and Moss should really just walk into this lane, drop your Phosphorus Bomb on the back creep waves, and start pushing to get the level advantage so they get the level 2 over Braum, and then just punish this lane. Corki and Kog'Maw will both get their big power spikes as far as their poke potential at level 6, just because Kog'Maw, again, outranging. But otherwise, Rokenia can really only trade on his W cooldown, and as long as that's down, or anytime he steps forward with his back lit up because he wants to sit and spit, just disengage and then look for trades. I feel like this is actually really easy for Corki Ali.
Could be. I mean, wave control is always important in bottom lane. I think the middle
literally the only important.
Sure. I think the middle levels are really interesting, but we'll see how Kelsey plays it, because there's definitely options there against someone who's so it's like single target focus as far as the damage goes.
No, you are correct. Braum in particular into Alistair is actually a really good matchup just because Braum can really quickly reposition himself. So if Ali ever goes into your AD carry, Braum can just press his W, jump to him, and help assist. But I don't really feel like that's the dynamic that we're going to see. Actually, you know what? both of them want to kill each other. Just go at it.
Whatever. I'm really excited. Let's see what this bottom lane does. We are under the rift, ladies and gentlemen. Our final game of the evening here for the IWCQ as Detonation FocusMe are taking on the Bangkok Titans. And I am so ready to see how this bottom lane goes because we've already had so much discussion. I just feel like I sparked exactly the right talking point. I just felt like I nailed it.
I'm happy for this lane, to be honest. G4 and Aurelia should be a whole lot of fun versus Ari. He's been picking up a little speed, and Seros has gone exhaust in that mid lane. So respecting a lot of the threats from Bangkok Titans.
It's such a double whammy against Aurelia.
Double whammy.
Because it's going to take away from her damage as well as slow down her attack speed and her movement in particular. So, are you okay over there?
No, not really.
He'll be okay, but it's smart.
How did I get on the desk with both PastryTime and Atlas?
Because you're blessed.
Oh my god. I'm such a big fan.
Oh my goodness.
By the way, Atlas, I am the real PastryTime.
Oh my god, okay.
Oh my god, is that
you
the
deserve
real?
That.
Be quiet, Spawn. You're walking home.
Well, neutral set up now for both sides as Detonation FocusMe actually have Udapon in the bottom side with Kazu, so going to do some double jungling, but Warlock's already in the top lane, ready to go.
Yeah, they're just making sure that they're actually getting the 2v2 versus a lane swap scenario, so here we go. We will actually have the Braum, Ali, Kog'Maw, Corki matchup.
Yeah, and both Detonation FocusMe and the Bangkok Titans are setting up a freeze here as G4 already aggressively onto Seros, takes half of his health.
He will hit you in the face repeatedly.
And I really love this tactic from G4 as well, how he plays out these lanes on melee champions, always pushing up very fast, standing on top of his melee minions, often even standing on top of the caster minions of his opponent, because he knows that he needs to be in range to CS, and he always does it with so much power.
And Spawn brings this up all the time. Anytime you're a melee champion into a ranged champion, especially in the early levels, you're effectively trading health for CS. Now look at what G4 has taken into lane. He's taken the flask pots and the mana pot. So effectively, he wants to bounce that wave as quickly as possible, make sure that he gets the level advantage. Aurelia is going to get a power spike at level 5 because she has enough points into her W where she can pretty much infinitely sustain if she's allowed to hit creeps.
Yep, and even if you level like E or something, or probably not Q, but if you max E as kind of the other option, you get a lot of burst.
The burst damage.
Yeah, and then you just play like almost like an AD mage. So G4 is taking a lot of advantage of Crystalline Flask, like you mentioned, because any early trades, especially if G4 can get an auto attack in there, he's going to win, not just out sustaining, but he does more damage because he's an auto attack champion anyway.
He's going to smack people. 007.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sitting on top of a ward here. There's Udapon going to be wandering back. 007X, you must know that you have been spotted. The body slammer himself in Astral Rage, just waiting around the corner. Has a bit of a drink and smacks on top of 007X. So much damage from this Gragas early on, down to 300 health. Gets the knock up to 007X. The Blackboard into the stun and first blood for Udapon in the top lane.
What a brilliant adaptation coming out of Detonation FocusMe. But hold on, Moss in the mid lane.
Yeah, going back in.
Rip.
Charm was there.
Back to my adaptation.
Yep.
You know 007's going to invade you. That's all this guy does. He loves to counter jungle. The fact that Gragas just sat there and waited knowing it was coming.
Oh my goodness, stun onto Lloyd here as well. He's down to 300 health. Kazu just going to stand behind his buddy there. Missing some skin, but otherwise he's okay.
Good combo there as well from Moss, just to try and get some trade damage down, but instead Rakinia and Kazu just going to try and keep the lane as best they can. And then he hits a post bomb, and you can see all that trading as Rakini is taking quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, again, he got control of the creep wave. The fact that even though Moss roamed and Lloyd ate a lot more damage than was really necessary trying to come back into the lane, the fact that Corki with that Phosphorus Bomb just has so much superior control of the creep wave and is able to keep Kog'Maw pushed in, so he can't trade as effectively because he's competing against the creep damage.
Securing in now as Seros gets knocked up. G4 going to keep running in. The exhaust, though, is going to be enough to save Seros' life. But well played by the Bangkok Titans jungler.
And 007X was standing on top of a ward, and Seros just did not even notice or care. Had to blow both of his summoner spells.
Wards actually just don't exist.
Apparently not.
They don't care about the information that they get with them. They don't care about placing them. They want to fight.
It's cheating.
You know, both Seros and G4 have outplayed 2v1 scenarios so many times in the mid lane. Seros probably looked at that and was like, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Did you bring me double buff?
Not today, unfortunately, as Rakinia
Udapon says thank you for that, though.
Continues to CS here. And speaking of Udapon, he's actually got his T going up already, so that
That's
first blood
massive.
helping out, yeah.
obviously, Rise is going to be a timing-based build just with the row and the tier if Yutapon decides to go that route. Don't know why he wouldn't, especially with that double buff. But getting tier this early, it just ramps up Rise's big power spike at that 20-25 minute mark.
One thing I want to talk to you about, Froskurinn, is whether
As opposed
or not
to Pastry?
Yes. Is whether or not Detonation FocusMe may have picked themselves a little bit of a more late-game focused comp than they probably should have. We saw when they were facing off against the Chiefs, it was the fact that they had mid-game pick potential and power there that really got them through, and the fact that they had the split-pushing power of the Diana that was really helping out. But now, with the Rise, with the Kog'Maw, these champions that really want to scale, is it going to be enough?
I mean, the idea is that they also have Ahri as kind of your mid-bridge champion to take the mantle when Rise and Kog'Maw are taking time to get warmed up. Likewise, Kog'Maw will have a mid-game power spike with the completion of the Trinity Force. So, especially since Yutapon got the first blood, I can see how it could possibly be a problem. I still think it's a little bit questionable when Dragons start being contested, especially across from a Rumble team, just because their objective control is so superior. But for now, no, I don't think it's too big of an issue as long as they fight on Trinity Force and Ahri.
Well, there's the flash here from 007X as he gets in there, but he's getting taken down so quickly. Warlock doing some work as 200 health as the Gragas, and he flashes forward, gets the harpoon, but one more, another auto attack would have done it, but no, double kill for Yutapon. That's a 3 kills Rise, ridiculous stuff. Nice charm from Seros.
And I tried to sum it up there for you guys in the middle of that fight. Oh, Moss is going in though. Rakini is going to eat the fast bomb. Kazu a little late on that Unbreakable. And Lloyd going to try and chuck it down, but they're going back in. Moss has the better track, but the stun is down. He doesn't quite have his ulti just yet. And they'll back away slowly from the bottom lane.
I mean, this is worst case scenario for the Bangkok Titans. You talked about how the composition for Detonation FocusMe is very late game oriented. This Rise is sitting 3-0-0 at 7 minutes in this game.
And like I said, nice flash, but a better body slam. Actually turned Rumble around to move the Flame Spitter out of his backside, and Yutapon was able to clean up the kills. Again, Rise has been changed quite a lot, but he still does a lot of damage, especially when he gets at level 6.
Here we go, though, Moss.
007X still looking for something here. They do land a stun on Moss, though, as Rakimia. He's going to get exhausted. In comes Yutapon. So much damage on this. Rises Kazu, able to flash himself to safety. Asterore finds his way in here. Body slam again. That's the barrel of death of a 007X. And that's 0-3-0 now for the Rek'Sai.
I feel like anytime both teleports are used, the guy who pulls the trigger second almost always wins, especially when it's that 3-0-0 Rise showing up.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's probably going to help.
A couple of Kazu didn't die. G4 dies back in and eats a tower hit for his troubles. That was so well played by Yutapon with that teleport. And again, power of Rise. Warlock came in, didn't use his ultimate, actually still has it as he's looking around the mid lane.
But look at how bloodthirsty these teams are. I made the comment last game that there's no reason to go into lane phase as we see Warlock actually looking for a dive on Seros here. Kazu knows what's up.
Good timing there from Kazu as well.
The only reason you go into lane phase is because it's the easiest way to secure your gold and your experience through the creeps. But if you can augment that, if you can speed that up by just murdering people around the map, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, hang on. Let's just check the levels of the supports. Both of them level 5.
Okay, perfect. We got it.
No level 2 Broms this time around.
Yeah, we'll check the levels of the top laners there.
Yeah, level 7 to level 6.
He just turned.
Just to level 6 as well as Yutapon is so massive on this Rise. Completely ridiculous. He's going to have a very fast Rod of Ages. You have to think that'll be about 12 minutes or something like that for him to finish off that item.
3 minutes faster. You want to?
Than you should, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get that around 15:30.
Look at this, Reddy might even have it a bit faster, but Kazu hops back away to him. Minion Rakenia does have his Sheen now, and he's got parts of that face, so he'll move back down to the bottom side. And even Cinderhawk's done for Asterore. Items starting to come out across the board. In fact, double Sheen for the Bangkok Titans as well, both in mid and bottom lane.
You want to talk about a mid-game power spike? How's that double Sheen proc? See if the Bangkok Titans...
Well, triple as well. They've got a Rumble there as well. The Equalizer. Massive amounts of damage. When he manages to pick up some penetration, things might be helping out here for the Bangkok Titans.
That's not a Sheen.
It's not a Sheen, but it's a mid-game power spike pastry time.
I see.
That's all I was going for, but I'd build a Sheen.
You would, and you wouldn't.
He should be building an Abyssal, in all honesty.
Well, yeah.
He really needs the defense, especially because he is facing across from the 4-0 and 1 Rise. So don't quite agree with the itemization coming out of Warlock, but I do agree that the Bangkok Titans are strong right now, and they could look for a dragon fight.
One thing I do like about it is the fact that Warlock might just be seeding lane. He's saying, okay, well, I'm not going to try and fight this Rise ever. I'm just going to try and get to my Haunting guys, my Sword Shoes, and try and get to a team fight where my Equalizer will be effective.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Abyssal is also going to give you the penetration needed to augment your Equalizer, and it's also going to help your Corki. So people always forget that Corki does a lot of magic damage. Having the Abyssal, you're not just empowering yourself, but you're literally carry.
Seems like a lot of a dive brewing in the top lane in the meanwhile. Seros does clear out that wave. He's got the blue buff now, but Udapon hanging back. He's got his jungler just behind him here as well, but Bangkok Titans have pulled 3 people into this top lane.
Udapon just going to be able to farm this one out. He might go back. We'll see when he does have that Rod of Ages completed. Astaroria going to throw a barrel in. Discovers himself 007X. He's waiting on the side. They get a ward in there, making sure.
Is Rek'Sai's pool party skin a sonar sound? Is that what she makes?
So it's like a whale call.
Oh, that would be cute.
That would be magical. Beluga Rek'Sai.
Can that
That's
be
the next skin,
our sarcastic tone of voice? Whale?
No whale on the desk, please.
I will struggle to understand what you're saying. It's been a while since I've spoken whale.
Back on the rift. Udapon still looking good. That was really smart, actually, from Astaroria to smell that gank, because even if they pulled the trigger on the dive, it's effectively 3v3 with the tower there. So smart move, and that's twice now that the Bangkok Titans have tried to get some sort of aggressive dive down, and they've been roamed on twice by the support the first time and the jungler the second time in top lane.
I don't think I've actually ever seen the supports in lane as Moss just...
Oh my goodness! Transcendent Blades, that's going to be enough. G4 decimates Seros.
And you have to respect the damage from Aurelia. Sheen always does damage, especially when you have your ultimate procs ready, and that Phage made her just sticky enough that Seros, who didn't think he had to flash, died to G4's Ignite.
Wow, Seros immediately goes back and picks up a Haunting guys. That's...
What?
That's an interesting itemization from an Ahri.
Oh my goodness! Okay, okay.
I mean, you're benefiting from health. You have the magic penetration, but typically we see a CDR.
Yeah, or an Abyssal. Oh no, you're not going to build an Abyssal.
You're not going to build Abyssal into Aurelia.
Maybe grab an Arm Guard? I don't know.
I would have said either you go for the CDR if you're ahead and you try to roam on other lanes with your ultimate,
or Rylays.
You can go for the Rylays to supplement your health, but I feel like the Zhonya's is the correct call. You want the defense, you want the damage, but you're facing across true damage anyway.
I think he just couldn't justify buying a third Doran's ring. He's like, I need this health. I will not leave this lane
Lord of the Rings.
without some more health.
Get a Giant's Belt and an Amp Tome, you know? Like, that was an interesting.
That'd be too easy, Alice.
That was a check up my butt as I walk away.
Rukinia's damage starting to ramp up now as well. He's got that Trinity Force almost completed. Rod of Ages done, by the way, for Udapon, so did have it at a pretty good clip.
12 minutes and 50 seconds, if I remember correctly.
Looking good there. And the top and bottom halves of the map for Detonation FocusMe are only getting stronger, even if Seros is kind of on emergency support here with this build. This is actually pretty far behind.
This is so scary laning across from Aurelia. Does have the advantage that he's on the shortest lane, so Aurelia's speed won't really mean much against the Spirit Rush. He should be able to get back to safety, but Moss...
Yeah, grabs a headbutt, pulverizes both of them here as well. Nice aiming on that one. They are going to be able to stun up the Alistar, who does have the Unbreakable Will. Goes back in with that one running. There's a Glacial Fissure though as Lloyd. He's going to get it turned around, and both teleports at about the same time here as Rukimia gets flashed on by Moss. There's the Equalizer, but flashes out of it. Udapon already able to pick up a kill as Warlock wonders what the heck he is doing in this lane, trying to pick up some kind of kill, but Dangerous Game's going to keep Rukimia alive. And it's another triple. 7-0-1 Udapon. What the heck?
So well played by Detonation FocusMe. Once again, Rukimia.
007X looking to try and give Udapon one more kill. Is going to do so successfully. No, it's in fact the Acathian surprise.
The former AD carry of Detonation FocusMe. Udapon for a long time has kind of been the star of the LJL, one of the most recognizable players. So aggressive, so in your face, very creative with his itemization. More standard this time around, but showing up huge on the international stage as Japan looks stronger than they ever have.
Absolutely. And again, still very much an emergent region in many ways. But the little things really made the difference. Arcania, the target selection there in bottom lane, the fact that they backed off as soon as Moss ulted after they fought, and again a nice teleport from Mutapon. Everything added up to get this absolutely absurdly fed Rise. If Mutapon can't carry this game on Rise of all champions, they're going to have to take a look at their drafting strategy. He's been literally part of 100% of his team's kills this game.
And always, when his teleport's up, they're starting these fights. They're able to get things working out for them here on the side of Detonation FocusMe. To be said about the Bangkok Titans, the fact that they almost have both of their Trinity Forces completed. We have the double pen items now available for Warlock, although he wasn't able to make them work at all last time. See whether they can grab anything else. No dragons have been looked at this game. It's just laning phase.
I have to go back to Mutapon. I know we've been talking about
Let's talk more about him. Yeah,
but it's just like
I'm down this. I'm down on this. It's good.
He hasn't played top lane in 2 years. It's been so long since he's done this competitively. I'm just going to throw something at you, Atlas.
Yeah, and look, he's making Warlock use his ultimate in the top wave just to clear the creep wave here. He is unbelievably strong. Asteroid, do not face check this Rise. You will die. He's going to clear out a ward.
That's his team.
And this is important.
Oh,
we saw
okay.
we saw last game what happens when you put the shot caller of a team behind from Chiefs versus Dark Passage, putting Naru down and how it changes the team's shot calling. Warlock is the leader of the Bangkok Titans. So the fact that he's behind, if his teleport isn't available, how will that affect the Bangkok Titans' ability to engage these heights?
That was a test, Atlas, by the way. You did pass.
Thank you.
Successful. I mean, I guess the thing that has to happen here for the Titans is G4. He's got a massive CS lead there in mid lane on Ceres at 40 up. He's got his Trinity Force. The Merc Treads is already there. Ceres is, again, sort of on life support as far as builds go. G4's going to have to really step up in this mid game along with that Trinity Force Corki and try and make an impact right now.
Well, G4 walking down here. They are going to discover the pink ward. Rikenia able to get himself out of trouble. Kazu getting some vision down as well, but that's going to get immediately swept. Bangkok Titans just looking for some gold on this map.
Instead, they'll find Kazu just chilling out the bottom side. Trinity Force, Vampiric Scepter now up for Rikenia as well, so he'll return to the lane relatively strong in that 2v2. Certainly able to get some traction now. They've played it very well. Moss, he just eats free damage. That's the biggest problem with Alistar. Triumphant Roar, usually not enough unless you use it a lot of times.
He's fine.
You gotta yell in the lane,
Just roll around, you'll be aight.
Yeah. Good. 007X clearing out some vision here as well, securing their own. A couple of wards on the map, a little bit more than we were expecting here.
The thing that kills me, it's 17 minutes into the game, and neither of these teams have been
What even is a dragon?
Exactly. But it's just... Of course, Japan versus Southeast Asia, they don't care about the objective. They just want to kill you.
Well, no people in that dragon pit.
It's interesting though, because we expected both these teams to probably prefer standard lanes. So the question was going to be who was going to get the benefit as an ulti comes out. Kazu not going to quite hit low, but he forced to flash out. It's 2v3 right now as 007X is going to come down as well. But they're just too low. They have to back off.
Yeah, G4 was making his way down as well, but this whole bottom lane is going to have to leave from the side of the Bangkok Titans. Rikenia and Kazu are actually getting themselves back up to help quite nicely here. Rikenia using that Vampiric Scepter quite nicely in conjunction with the Doran's Blade. This outer turret is now under fire. We'll see how they go.
We called Bangkok Titans the dark horse, coming out so strong in the last international wildcard despite the lack of preparation. This time around, beating out the top Vietnamese teams, representing the region, being the front runner. But Detonation FocusMe, the upset over the Chiefs, and now in position to upset the Bangkok Titans. Who would have ever seen the LJL coming out this strong?
Up on the wall, a good ult.
Yeah, there's the explosive cast back into that room prison as well. Easy as that, PastryTime. Detonation FocusMe grab another kill.
Yep.
Surprised it's on Mutapon.
Yep, 802 now for that Rise. Still involved in 100% of the kills. And just getting monstrous. The Seraph's already transformed. He gets the turret in top lane as well. Bangkok Titans will do the smart thing and take the first dragon of the game. 19 minutes into this one. But I'm afraid the damage looks like it's done. Detonation FocusMe's gold lead already pretty massive, about 5k up so far.
Oh, we found the objective with the resources committed top. The Bangkok Titans.
So excited right now.
We got the dragon, guys. No, this is fantastic. It opens up this is a 20-minute first dragon. 6 times 4 is 24. 44-minute fifth dragon win condition.
Whoa, that was some swift mathematics too.
Did I actually do it right? You should probably double check that.
Have you met me?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to let you have that one.
The only thing I know about math is that it's hard.
Yeah.
It's just too hard.
I watched a movie about it the other night. Well, that's about as close as I get. Rocket is going to be able to clear out the last bit of CS there for Lloyd. Kenya is going to be able to clear this one out very easily. Kazu helping out there with that Relic Shield. Zeros down on his mana, but hasn't been back to base for a very long time and still holding on.
Yeah, he's making a large investment in the mid lane. It's actually farming quite nicely. It's one of the perks of Ahri, I guess, as a champion. You're pretty safe, especially with exhaust because of your ultimate, and especially when you have your flash up. And apparently, Leandry's Torment is the first pick up there for the mid lane. He was banking all that gold. He gets another Ruby Crystal. Clearly very afraid of getting blown up.
Well, actually, you get single target. Oh, actually, let's talk about this team fight first. The exhaust is down onto Lloyd, back under his turret, but Rakinia uses the heal, flashes out of the way of the equalizer as Warlock comes in, and Asteroid still looking for more as Udapon finds his way in there as well. Moss, he needs to run away. It's another Rune Prison. Udapon just says, I'll kill everyone. Don't even worry about it. G4, he might be able to try and make something of this. Asteroid just celebration belly bop in amongst everything. Udapon, so much health from that shield, the double kill, and he's way too big.
I mean, effectively, the cask from Asteroid just bought time for Udapon's cooldowns. It kind of looked odd. You're like, why did he just separate them from apart? It's just waiting for Ryze's rotation to come back up.
And that's Seraph's Embrace. It's some very strong play, even taking the turret out and pushing forward. They take the top tower, and Detonation FocusMe a 10,000 gold ahead of the Bangkok Titans at 21.5 minutes.
With a late game scaling team comp.
And I think that we should probably, most of us, be fired. But before I get onto that, let's still have a look at the replay.
So Rakinia actually didn't move. He got 4 auto attacks without taking a single step just because of the fantastic tower aggro juggle. But here comes Udapon, and this damage is just disgusting. Meanwhile, the rest of Detonation FocusMe will just kind of participate in taking down the tower here. But here comes the cask from Asteroid. Right about here. So pops them away. You can see Udapon kind of running around in the back because, again, just waiting for those cooldowns. He uses the Seraph's Embrace to eat the initial burst damage, but then just turns and blows 2 people up.
Yeah, and what I was going to talk about before, after exactly that happened, now Detonation FocusMe with such a lead, is the fact that we called the Bangkok Titans the Dark Horse. We called Dark Passage the team that could potentially take it all. And after this, if anything happens, oh my goodness, can't finish the sentences. Here's the fight. That's a massive knock-up as the Bangkok Titans trying to fight back. 2 kills already, one of them being Udapon, but G4, he's going to be taken down. Seros now doing some work as the double kill comes in for Asteroid.
And that's the thing about having a 10-1 and 4 carry on your team. If for whatever reason he goes down, that's your entire gold lead in a fight.
Well, Rakinia got a good items now as well. It's really Seros that's like behind. They'll take the mid tower now as well. Big bounty to whoever got the kill.
Oh yeah.
But Detonation FocusMe do have carries in other places. Rakinia is not small.
We can go ahead and take a look at that. That was a beautiful equalizer from Warlock, but an even better pulverize coming out of Moss there. But at the end of the day, it's really just this 11k gold deficit speaking for itself.
And that Bled doing King Kog'Maw with that Trinity Force already done. I don't know if I can say this enough about Kog'Maw, but whenever you are ahead, it just feels so oppressive to have to play against Kog'Maw.
It's support Kog'Maw.
It's just silly.
He's got the most assists on the team.
Huge kill participation here as well, 12 out of the 17. They're going to start a casual Baron here at 23 minutes into the game. Decide better of that one. As I'm just going to take this moment to finish off the sentence that I tried to go for about 4 times, is the fact that we picked Bangkok Titans as the Dark Horse, and we picked Dark Passage as our team to take it all, and they're potentially going to be sitting on the bottom half of the bracket after tonight's games. It's the Chiefs and Detonation FocusMe sitting on 2-1.
This tournament has just been wild, and frankly, probably my favorite event that I've ever cast. Just, again, the different flavors, the different strategies, the hype going into these games. You can tell that these teams, they want it so badly.
And I have to agree with Atlas. I feel like we might be swapping some people around just in terms of maybe the Dark Horses are now Detonation FocusMe, and the Chiefs might bump themselves back up to favorites. We still have a day left to play tomorrow, don't forget. But if these teams look like they do now, I don't think anyone expected these results at the end of day 1.
And I don't think anyone can predict what's going to happen in day 2 as well. Anyone can take games from anyone. You got to have a look at, you know, who's going to be on the blue side, who's going to be on the red side, things like that as we head into tomorrow. But, man, I have a feeling that this competition very, very close. And when it comes down to sides, then that's what's going to be changing what happens here in these games. You know that the competition is very tight.
Has blue side had 100% win rate of the day?
It
Yep.
might have.
This is number 6.
If they win.
That's
because they look like the goodies. Because blue's like a good color as opposed to red being like a bad color.
Definitely not how that works.
Isn't that how that works?
No, not even close. And remember, the teams all swap sides as well. So we'll have some blue side games for the teams that lost in those matches today. So breaking serve is really important, honestly, in this tournament. You have to win on the red side against the top teams or against any of the teams, really, at this point, given how good the level of competitions looked. And a dragon.
So are you saying that we're probably going to have 3-3?
I don't want this. That's not what I said.
well, it's as
tiebreaker
Detonation.
is just going to be a completely new tournament.
Don't do it. Don't do this to me.
DetonatioN FocusMe do manage to pick up that dragon. It looked like Bangkok Titans were considering pulling the trigger on trading a Baron for it, but they were spotted out by a pink ward. Managed to clear the vision, but don't trade any sort of objective as DFM now pushing at mid lane. Equalizer being used to... Where am I play-by-play? I got 2 play-by-play casters next to me, and both of you are just sitting there silently.
Charm is going to land there onto the Aurelia, of all people. Ione and Ferb going to help her out of that one. Of course, Sterik's Gauge has just procced here as Kazu and Rukemia wanted to utilize that one to grab themselves some more criticalness.
One of the nice things about Kog'Maw as well is you can just go sieging now with this team comp from Gragas with a rising reserve on teleport. You can just see DetonatioN FocusMe splitting up perfectly.
The thing that I wanted to talk about, although I feel like there's a team fight approaching, is why there's such a heavy win rate on blue side, or what are some of the things that you have to look for. And first and foremost, the priority pick is going to be the most obvious one, how the draft phase changes between blue and purple side. But again, the bigger thing for me is the actual shape of the map and the choke point entrances from blue side, or excuse me, from red side into Dragon, into Baron, and how that augments team fights, especially against a lot of these teams in the international wildcard tournament who love to team fight.
Well, Baron's is going to be casually taken here as 007X tries to steal it away, going to get stunned over the wall, but will make it to safety. Just the Baron falling here for DetonatioN FocusMe. Yutapon did teleport in there to grab it. Empowered recalls, get them back to base, and that's some more items here for the Japanese squad. Yeah,
Yutapon could have finished a death cap, but went for Zhonya's instead. Might be a Void stuff coming up there as well, but Kog'Maw looking crazy. The items are out. We're going to Ryla's up for Ceres as well. Everyone on this team is doing so much damage.
I love Ryla's Leandries as well onto Ceres because your Foxfire actually counts as a single target spell. Each one of those Foxfire bolts is going to proc the single target Leandries damage and, of course, the maximum slow from that.
Let's be real. It's because you're a Zyra player.
Yeah, it's mostly because I'm a Zyra player. It's my favorite item combination in the game.
He's a disgusting Zyra player.
It's the only champion I can play. I better be good at it. Jeepers. What else am I going to do?
Well, DetonatioN FocusMe now cruising back down the mid lane. They're going to take this tier 2 tower very easily. 5-1 up now in towers. Bangkok Titans going to have to play right up against their base.
Barrow going to zone them away here as well as DetonatioN FocusMe looking to try and get some auto attacks on the turret.
And this is what you sacrifice, though, with Aurelia mid. Yes, she has insane 1v1 duel potential in that mid lane, but other than her ultimate, you have 0 wave clear, 0 safe wave clear available to you. Yeah, she can blade surge around on top of the creep lines, but you don't want to run in front of the enemy champion. And so the anti-siege from Bangkok Titans are pretty much non-existent. They just had to use the equalizer to buy time for this tower.
And they were never expecting to be behind. That's the issue that they've run into, is the fact that they were playing a comp that they're thinking, we want to be fighting in the mid-game, let's pick fighting champions for the mid-game. Okay, and then they make it here to 30 minutes into the game where they've got this gigantic gold deficit on their hands to deal with, and you cannot turtle with this team.
No, completely agree. But again, the underdogs, the smallest competitive region, the region without a live server, are looking to end this day 2-1.
Well, love to see how this happens. There's 6-7 towers now going to fall sorry as they pick up the tier 2 in top lane. Baron buff actually has quite a lot left on the duration as well. So they have time to knock down this tower. Bangkok Titans running out of time and running out of structures to give away.
Well, Lloyd's going to get charmed here. Destroyed is the AD carry. As now the explosive cast comes in. Asteroid trying to make position here as Moss might be sacrificing himself, but does have the ultimate. True damage from the Orbit Deception doing some work as well, as the cow's going to fall to pasture to you, Mr. Moss.
And that's going to be game for DetonatioN FocusMe. Death time is still a little too long despite the fact that we're under 30 minutes. Baron buff is still there, and ulti out from Warlock might save it. Serap's going to get dove on. 007X is trying to get the kill, but he's going to go down. Looks like Warlock will be the next target. He'll get stunned up as well. Rakini is going to chase him. Yutapon's found G4 in the fountain. And Bangkok Titans, the game is over. They hit the surrender button. And the Japanese end 2-1 up on day one.
In the most decisive victory that we've seen all day, it's Detonation FocusMe.
Both of their wins look super confident and very decisive. It's crazy to think they started the day off and just got rolled over, honestly, by Dark Passage, because the 2 games they've won against Bangkok Titans and the Chiefs looked very convincing.
But even in the early game from Dark Passage, there was still some fight.
Yeah. And look, the ridiculous thing about that is looking at the cams afterwards and looking at these players, they are all business after that. That was the Japanese squad just thinking, all right, yep, but we're thinking about tomorrow. We're not going to be celebrating this. This is a big deal. This is a massive deal for this Detonation FocusMe squad. But no, very, very business focused, making sure that they're getting ready for their next performance. And man, I'm really excited to see how they do when they head onto the Rift tomorrow night for those games, because this team, I most definitely overlooked them. Of course, had to look at a lot of their games moving in here, but was just never expecting their style to match up to that of these teams here in the IWCQ like they would.
This is, I cannot emphasize this enough, and I'm sure people are getting tired of hearing it, but such an underdog story. Pretty much everything is against Japan, infrastructurally speaking. I mean, they're one of the first teams to get a gaming house in general, but it was, I mean, gaming houses in Japan, they're under the prerequisite that you almost have to, I think, it might have been the Rascal Jesters or one of the teams, they had to work for the company that they got the gaming house under. Like, just the idea of a pro gamer in Japan, yes, gaming's big in Japan, but in this style is just very alien. It's very strange. They had to work against it. Detonation FocusMe have broken a lot of barriers, you know, being a very big sponsor, being very famous in Japan now for the fact that they are a League of Legends team, but there's no live server. It's only 6 teams. It's the smallest of any of the professional regions. They play 10 games in their regular split, 20 games in the entire season. The Chiefs played more games than the Japanese in one split than they did in their season.
What the heck?
And they're now 2-1.
Just ridiculous.
Not bad.
But huge congratulations there to Detonation FocusMe. That being said, we are going to throw it out to our analysts to bring us through that.